All right, it's Friday, June the 26th. We've got 5 games on the first 5 board that we're going to cover with you here today. They include the Cubs riding into Milwaukee off a sweep of the hapless Mets, who just fired their coach for how bad they were beaten down by the Cubs. We've got Colorado and Minnesota with 2 of the hottest offenses in baseball. We got Paul Skeens on the mound against Cincinnati. The Marlins looking to keep their winning ways going in St. Louis. And we'll end up with the Rangers and the Blue Jays at the Rogers Center. Hey, it's Raineri, WagerTalk.com. So let's dive in. Game 1 here tonight, 7:45 Eastern first pitch. It's the Cubs, the red-hot Cubs, at the Milwaukee Brewers. So the Brewers, though, are sending Jacob Misiorowski to the mound tonight, and the first 5 odds market, well, they opened up Milwaukee at around the $3 favorite. That's a price that walks in saying this thing's decided before he even throws the first pitch. And to be fair, Miz has been one of the best arms in baseball this year with his 1.45 ERA, the underlying numbers basically backing him up at every level. And maybe a hair too kind here or there. Maybe he's a little in the low 2s ERA more realistically. But either way, he's elite. He's also one of the top Cy Young Award favorites this year in the National League, and he should be. But the Cubs are walking into this game off a 4-game sweep of the Mets in New York. Again, Mets have already fired their manager because of how bad they were beaten there. They've been averaging nearly 10 runs a game over the last week. They're finally starting to hit the ball. Swanson, Pete Crow Armstrong, Horner, all putting up big numbers over the last week. And Chicago's been, over the last couple of weeks, a top 10 offense against right-handed pitching. So we know that they are going to bring the offense tonight. But against Miz, well, we're going to have to find out. His last outing was 6 innings, 2 earned against Atlanta. Looked good on paper. But Atlanta's lineup at that point had not been swinging the bat well at all. The Cubs, though, well, they're nothing like what that Atlanta team was a week ago. Again, red hot, hitting the ball at the plate. Meanwhile, Milwaukee, well, they have been bottom third against right-handed starters here over the last couple of weeks. They're not exactly crushing the ball. They're putting up about 4 runs a game. Solid, but the offense is not carrying them right now at all. So through 5 innings, I'm certainly not running to the window to lay $3 with a Milwaukee lineup that can't score enough runs here, and a Chicago lineup that, well, they can score runs against anybody in baseball. So at that point, all the value, the market, and the overreaction to Miz bouncing back and all this good stuff, yeah, no. The Cubs plus a half a run in the first 5. That is the way I'm going. Why? Because that is what the market is giving us. Too much value to pass up there. I'll take the Cubs plus the half a run in the first 5. All right, let's talk about game number 2 here tonight. We got the Rockies at the Twins. Actually, 2 of the hottest offenses in Major League Baseball going up, and they're both facing splits and have been pretty good for these 2 offenses over the last couple of weeks. That, to me, feels like a recipe for runs, especially with Colorado sending Sagano and his, 4.31 ERA, which is serviceable. The underlying numbers tell us that he's been pitching closer to a guy near a 7 ERA. But keep in mind, he pitches in Colorado at Coors Field, but he doesn't miss enough bats, I think, to be able to survive traffic that's going to be on the bases here because, well, Minnesota's countering with Taj Bradley. He's coming in at a 4.11, and his numbers, to be honest, when you look at the underlying metrics, he is what he is. He's just about that. He's a mid-rotation arm, average, and there's really nothing exceptional either way. He did spend a little time on the IL about a month ago, a little over a month ago. He hasn't been great, but again, he hasn't been terrible. So if you look at the offenses, that's the story of this game. because the Twins lead baseball in OPS against right-handed pitching over the last 14 days. That's number one. You got Caratini, you got Brooks, you got Lee, you got Buxton, all swinging it well. They've been averaging over 5 runs a game over the last 7 days. And Colorado, by the way, third in baseball against righties over that same stretch. They, too, have been really hot at the plate. 4.2 runs a game over the last week doesn't tell the full story. The bats, though, are hitting it hard, and I think there's going to be an opportunity for runs in this game. The first 5 total, 4.5. With both lineups this hot against the splits that they're facing, that they have been crushing, and 2 starters who, let's be honest, aren't going to shut anyone down, I'll take the over 4.5 in this one in the first 5. Now, guys, before we get to the rest of the games here tonight, I do want to ask you, if you could, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, become part of the WagerTalk TV family. We are your one-stop shop for everything that is sports betting and about the sports betting markets. So go ahead, become part of that WagerTalk TV family. We certainly appreciate you hanging with us here on First 5. All right, we're going to head to game number 3 here tonight. And surprise, it's Paul Skeens Day as the Pirates at home taking on the Reds. And Pittsburgh, well, they just don't like Paul Skeens apparently because they never want to score enough runs for him here. And, of course, the market opened up just over $2 in the first 5 for Paul Skeens and the Pirates, but we've seen nothing but Reds money come in ever since. And listen, there's a reason why he would be a $2 favorite in the first 5 to begin with. And 2.86 ERA, underlying metrics are better than that. He's missing bats at an elite rate. He barely walks anyone. He's had a couple of rough outings this year, but so is everybody else. The bottom line is I would take Paul Skeens any day on the mound in a game that I had to win. His last outing, he went 6 innings and only gave up 2 earned against Colorado in Colorado. And the reason that he lost that game was because, well, the Pittsburgh offense has been nowhere to be found. Shocker. And he was filthy, by the way, in that game. Now, the Reds on the other side, well, they can't hit water if they fell out of a boat right now. They are terrible, especially against right-handed pitching. Bottom 3 in baseball over the last couple of weeks, averaging just 3.3 runs a game. Ugh. Blake Dunn's the only bat doing anything for them in that lineup, and they are sending Andrew Abbott to the mound. He's the lefty with a 3.83 ERA, which, let's face it, it looks a little bit better than he's actually been. The underlying metrics say he's much closer to a upper 4s ERA type of arm. It does hand out a lot of free traffic on the base path, over 4 walks per 9. Yeah, he had a rough go of it here since he came back in the end of May through June. Has not been great for him, but he's been really good the last couple of times out. So looks like he might have shaken off the rust and figured some things out. And he's taken on a Pittsburgh lineup who against lefties, not good. No, not good. They just don't hit, period here. But again, Cincinnati, they don't hit either. So that's the bigger problem. If I'm looking anything here in the first 5, though, I'm not laying $2 or anywhere near it with Pittsburgh, not because I don't like Paul Skeens, but because don't trust this Pittsburgh offense. And I trust Cincinnati's even less. Reds team total under in the first 5 would be the way that I lean in this game. I do not see Cincinnati hitting Skeens at all. All right, game 4 here tonight we're going to talk about. Let's go to St. Louis. Had a rain out yesterday. Marlins are coming to town. Marlins had a scheduled day off yesterday. So the Cardinals got a little breather there after losing 2 of 3 to Arizona. And the first 5 in this game in the market opened up pretty much as a pick'em here. And yeah, minus 104, minus 105, pretty much on both sides. But if I look closer at this pitching matchup, there's an edge to be had here. Michael McGreevy starting for the Cardinals, 3.35 ERA, and that looks really good. Yeah, not in reality, though, because he's not a 3.35 ERA pitcher. The underlying metrics tell us he's been pitching more like a upper 5, lower 6 ERA guy. He's not missing enough bats to keep living at that number. That ERA makes him look better than he is. He's coming off a start where he just got hammered for 5 earned in 5 innings, working back to a normal pitch count. And now on the other side, he's got Max Meyer going from Miami, 2.80 ERA, and the underlying numbers tell me, yeah, he's closer to a mid-threes, but again, still good. The ERA is a little shiny for him, but he misses bats unlike McGreevy, and that plays well when we're talking about the first 5 innings. Because you've got a Marlins right-hander who has been solid all year long. You've got a Cardinals righty who's pitched way over his head and has gotten every bounce and break known to mankind. And yet the first 5 priced them this morning at about a pick 'em. Now, we have started to see some money come in on Miami in the first 5, and that makes sense. And listen, the Cardinals have been good offensively, top 5. Against right-handed pitching over the last couple of weeks. They have done well. That part is real. But in the first 5, the starter matters more than the lineup, folks. And with Miami having leaving home and what they have, a 5-1 homestand, in fact, one of the hottest teams, not just over the last couple of weeks, but in the month of June. Miami has been fantastic, and Max Meyer is a big reason why. I like the Marlins. I'm not going to overthink this one. They've got the better pitcher. They're the hotter team, and I think they're going to get it done. Meyer over McGreevy for me in that one. All right, we got one more game to get to here at the Rogers Center with the Rangers and the Blue Jays. Before we do that, I do happen to have, guys, 3 games locked and loaded over on my page at WagerTalk.com. You can take that shortcut code, WT.buzz/JR. Grab all 3 of them for the $29 package that is up right now. You can get one of the all-access packages, especially the baseball one they have, $49, and you'll get every Major League Baseball play, including the 5%ers all throughout the weekend. But I got 3 games I absolutely love here tonight, and you guys can go grab those right now. Don't miss out. WT.buzz/JR. All right, let's talk about this last game. The Rangers and Blue Jays in Toronto, Texas. Last night held on for a 6-5 win. Tonight, the Jays sending Patrick Corbin. Is it fade Patrick Corbin day? Anyone? The lefty, well, he got knocked around his last time out. 6 days ago against the Cubs, who we told you earlier, well, they're knocking around just about everybody these days, but they got to Corbin his last time out. He's sitting at around 4.73 for an ERA. The underlying numbers say, yeah, he's way worse than that, but we all know this. Last time out, 3.2 innings. That was 3 earned on 101 pitches. That's a lot of pitches here in a short outing, so not good. And Nathan Eovaldi on the other side for Texas, 4.24 ERA. And the underlying numbers pretty much match that. He's a mid-rotation arm, walks under 2.5 per 9. Great, doesn't beat himself. He certainly still has some swing and miss stuff in his arsenal, which is always good to have, especially early on in games. The Rangers have been steady against lefties over the last couple of weeks. They were terrible, but they've actually gotten a little bit better. Langford, Jake Berger, Brandon Nimmo, all swinging it well right now. And Toronto's lineup against righties has been nothing to write home about, has been average here, but they just can't get the big hit with runners in scoring position. So with the first 5 money line opening up with Texas at around minus 130 against a Patrick Corbin, I don't know. Listen, I lean Texas here. I do not trust either offense at this particular point in the game. But if I'm playing, I would be laying in the first 5 here on Texas. Don't trust the bullpens, but I do think Eovaldi is going to outpitch Patrick Corbin here tonight. And at that price point, yeah, it might be worth a couple of bucks there to back Eovaldi in Texas in the first 5. And there you got it, guys. That's it on this June the 26th. 5 games, 5 first 5 breakdowns for you. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Become part of the WagerTalk TV family. Don't forget, go grab 3 top plays right now that are locked, loaded on my page at wagertalk.com, wt.buzz/JR. Partner up with me. Let's cash some tickets here over the weekend as we've got plenty more baseball mixed in between World Cup action coming your way. So appreciate the time, guys. Don't forget, drop in the comment section what your favorite first 5 look is here tonight on the card. And make sure you come back and join us again during the week. These are daily. Come back and join us for another edition of First 5. Enjoy the games, guys. We'll see you again.